I'd like to say a few words this morning about our tendency, it's a cultural tendency to lean out of our experience, to lean out, to lean forward, which also in our meditation experience translate to leaning in. You know, we're creatures of agency, we're doers, and we're an outward-facing society. And we don't generally take this position of being more receptive to our experience. We're interactive with it. We engage it. We move out to join it, to connect with it. You know, there's some wonderful things about that as well. But it also contributes to our stress and to our, not so much to our well-being at various times. And it can get in the way in meditation, that tendency. Perfect example is something as simple as the sound, a sound that we might take in, say the sound of this bell. Yeah? Now, listening does not take muscles, it takes nerves. Yeah? But there's a tendency to go out to the sound, obviously then to label it, to make an association to it. But is this if we're going out to the sound? But obviously we don't need to go out to the sound. You know? It's just with a simple shift, the sound comes to us. It's as if it's washing over us, right? You can settle back, and listening will still happen perfectly well. Yeah? Yeah, difference in that move? How we can go out there, something out there is happening. Oh, it's like this, as if I have to do this. Whereas the sound is no different. Actually, it is different in some ways. It can be differently perceived if we settle back. And we do that with all of our senses. We do that with seeing. As if the eyes need to go out to get something, to even perceive it well. You know, they need to go out, but they don't. Actually, right? Also, we could settle back. And the eyes function perfectly well in the settled back position. Yeah? So we're an outward-facing culture in that way. You know, a culture of agency. We're doers. We go out. We go out. Yeah? And when in meditation, there's also that tendency to make something happen, to do something, to follow the instructions, to get it right, to manipulate the internal environment in some ways that we think is in accord with meditation, but definitely to do something, we're doers. And you'll often hear us say, well, can you take your hands off the wheel a little bit in meditation? Do you know? If you notice, if you take your hands off the wheel of the breath still is happening. The breath doesn't stop happening when we settle back a little bit more and follow it and feel its rhythm rather than to lead the breath, guide the breath, steer the breath. Yeah? Yeah? So much is in the meditation practice is going from that leaning forward position in meditation. This has been one of the most helpful things for us. Going for that leaning forward position to a more settled back in the present moment position. As if I'm not creating the present moment, I'm receiving the present moment. I'm allowing life to come to me. Letting sounds come to me. Let visual images come to me. Let thoughts arise on their own. They won't stop arising. You know, they will come on their own. So we can have cognitively this understanding that sure, the breath, of course, I know the breath is happening, even if I don't make it happen. I know the heart's beating, I'm not beating it. I know digestion's happening, I'm not doing it. But when it comes to up here, we think we better do things, we must do things, or I don't know, things will fall apart, or nothing meaningful will happen if I just really give myself permission to settle back. And yet there's a whole world there that can begin to happen, that we can begin to be privy to and be sensitive to if we play with, noticing when we're in that leaning forward position in meditation, the brow furrows. One of the first things I do when I sit down in meditation is to notice that the breath is already happening on its own, that the body's already here. You've heard me say this. There's plenty that's already going on. And so much of it is finding a way to, we want a little bit feel it, allow the breath to come to us, but so much of it is letting it come, letting our experience come, holding our experience, allowing ourselves to be held by our experience, more like that, do you know? And so play with this. When we do this meditation, I'll encourage you to notice that tendency to lean in, to lean in, and then see what it's like to just really let the breath go. Let the exhale go a little bit more. The next one will come in. The next in-breath will come in, Yeah, trusting that. There's a little bit of trust in what it would be like if I let go, but still stay attentive to what happens when I let go a little bit more. Notice how things still keep arising, still keep showing up, Play with that. Let's play with that together in this meditation. Okay?